seated to pray for him. Let's bow our heads for a moment. In the name of Jesus, we thank you and we ask for your guidance in this city council meeting. Against violence. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I move on to item 2, we have one lone member from Leadership Lounge class of 2023. 2 reasons to congratulate her if she would stand. Elizabeth Danforth, because when she started the class, she was Elizabeth Stalvey. Part of their requirement is to take in a city council meeting and to take in a Lowndes County Commission meeting. We're far more exciting. We'll move on to item 2. Valdosta City Council special called meeting March 24th for the minutes of approval, March 24th, 2023, as well as the regular meeting on April 20th, 2023. Council's had time to review those from the special called meeting and the regular meeting. Are there any additions or deletions at this time? None. The minutes are approved by acclamation. Item 3, bids, contracts, agreements, and expenditures. If I could get Richard Hardy, our current interim city manager, to join me at the front podium.
Mayor.
Cool, the minute. Okay. He did the minutes.
I've got this thing through.
Let him do. Let him do it.
He's going to do it from the podium there.
Leave him out there. We did a lot of different groups. We didn't have an agency.
So the timeline goes as follows. On April 21st, 2023, the mayor and council selected Richard L. Hardy as the sole finalist for the position of city manager of the city of Valdosta. As required by law, the city was required to disclose the sole finalist 14 days prior to the final vote on Mr. Hardy's ultimate appointment. The city disclosed that Mr. Hardy was the sole finalist on Monday, April 24th, 2023. As such, final action could be taken on that appointment at this time. Mayor and council reviewed the employment agreement for the new city manager. There was a minor change that was agreed to by the city attorney and Mr. Hardy. If there are no more questions, it's my very proud honor to turn it over to council for action.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we name Richard Hardy next city manager for the city of Valdosta.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, show of hands. Yes. Hold on, don't go anywhere.
Speech.
I could get Terry to join us and Ricky to join us, his wife and daughter. Come on up. Yeah. You're joining us to officially sign the employment contract. Richard, if you'll come over here. Come on, buddy.
It's official.
pleasantries. It's time to get to work.
Script down there. Okay. Thought I had it together.
Straight.
Yeah.
He's not here. I can carry on.
You'll take care of the contracts? Thank you. Just wanted to prolong your moment. All right. Item B, consideration of a request to approve a proposal with Barge Design Solutions for the sanitary sewer force main extension project and engineering and survey design documents for Bay Tree Road at I-75. Bradley Ayer, our utilities director, will present. Bradley, how are you doing this evening?
Good evening. Yes, this is a request to approve a proposal for design, for surveying and design of a force main extension. As you know, the gravity sewer along Lake Sherry is was never designed for the capacity that currently flows through there. It's very shallow. Also, the additional growth in the area really requires us to make some improvements here. Barge Design Solutions has given us a proposal to do this work in the amount of $271,200. Staff recommends that we approve this proposal so we can begin the work. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Council, any questions for Bradley? Bradley, thank you. Council, I'll turn it over to you for action.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the proposal as submitted.
Second. I got a motion and a second. Any further comments? All in favor, show of hands. Unanimous. Council, thank you. Move on to ordinances and resolutions. Consideration of an ordinance to amend the requirements and procedures for the renaming and or closing of streets. This is a second reading by Ben O'Dowd, city engineer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Thank you for that. I'm here recommending or talking all about the revisions to the ordinance for street renaming and street closure. The ordinance was last updated in 2019, and since then, city staff have identified opportunities and areas of improvement that we can achieve on. We've made revisions to the requirements of application packages. We've added procedural clarifications for a variety of different kind of scenarios that we've encountered in recent history, and provided some clarification to kind of guide the procedure a little bit more smoothly. We've provided a variety of opportunities for feedback. We've provided feedback loops to make sure that people are aware of what the repercussions are and what the meaning of all this is when streets are renamed. We've also added some revisions to the portion of the ordinance which describes street closures to bring that portion of the ordinance into alignment with Georgia state law. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have regarding the ordinance.
Council, any questions?
Yeah, I've got one. Yes, sir.
This is section B, 8683.
Okay.
Excuse me, section C4. Calls a legal notice of public hearing to be published in the newspaper, general circulation. Councilwoman Cody and I have mentioned this before, that the public needs to be duly notified as much as we possibly can. Mm-hmm. Newspaper is good, and I know that there's also mail, but we have other platforms for advertising. such as our Facebook page, website,
Radio.
and even our
Radio.
the emails. Even our emails. Can't we include that so as many people as possible are aware of street name changes?
We can supplement the required notification with additional notifications such as those, yes.
Okay.
The circulation within newspapers that are considered generally read and received by the public is something that's a common way for us to advertise for instance, for bids for potential work for the city. In addition to that, there's signage that's placed out there. There's minimum mandatory mailings that are going to be provided to the residents, so there will be ample opportunity. But I see no issue with issuing, emails or exploring other alternatives for additional notice in an effort to get the word out.
Okay.
Councilman McIntyre, also, I stand corrected, it's the second reading, but first official reading, so there is time to make changes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One more question about the abutting facilities. Can you elaborate a little on why streets that are abutting the street that requires the name change, why those people need to be notified?
So abutting, the terminology abutting refers to properties which have access along the right-of-way that would be affected. So, for instance, abutting properties are notified because they abut the right-of-way, and there's potential that they may be addressed by that road unless they have dual frontage along two different roads. And so all of the abutting properties would receive notification because they would be the most keenly affected by a road closure or a road renaming.
Okay.
I hope that answered your question.
So typically, that's there because it would, if it makes sense, or just all abutting.
All abutting property owners or all abutting parcels along the affected route would need to be notified of a potential road renaming and especially of a potential road closure.
It would catch the individuals that reside on the street to be renamed, but on like a corner lot that may be addressed on a different street, it would catch those folks too that may not necessarily, they'll be on the street but not be addressed on the street. So that's what we're trying to catch.
Okay.
Any other questions
for Ben?
Thank you.
Ben, thank you. Council, again, first reading, so there will be no action on this agenda item. Item B, consideration of a resolution to readopt the urban redevelopment plan. Matt Martin, our planning director, to present. Hi, Matt.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. What is before you is, as we described it in the work session, it is a resolution of support, but included in that is a readoption of the city's urban redevelopment plan, which goes back to the years of 2009 and 2013. This is for a proposed housing development that we call Harvest Station, that we're all familiar with the different details of that. The developer who's submitting an application to DCA is trying to maximize the points that are earned. It's a competitive process, and so by readopting the urban redevelopment plan, it affords them the maximum points that would be allotted to that. Otherwise, we're under no mandate to readopt. We're simply reaffirming and recognizing that our existing plan is still the existing plan. I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Council, any questions for Matt? Matt, thank you. Council, it's yours for action.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve as presented.
Got a motion and a second. Any further comments? All in favor, show of hands. Council, thank you. We'll move on to local funding and request. Item A, consideration of a request for the Goodyear Cherry Creek Lift Station relocation and force main improvements. Bradley Ayer, again, our Utilities Director.
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, that our existing Goodyear lift station, which is located at 4119 Bemis Road, is really insufficient for our standards and specifications. It's in the corner of a parking lot of an existing repair facility, and it's in a low-lying area. And also, we have a need. The city has a need to improve the size and capacity of the lift station. In part of your packet, there's an aerial that shows the city property and the existing site along Cherry Creek. And basically, we are planning to relocate the lift station across the creek and make some improvements to its capacity. Also in your packet is a preliminary site plan and also proposal from Turnip Seed Engineers to do the design work, survey and design work. The estimate for this design and survey is $55,250 based on a projected construction cost of $650,000, which is 8.5% of the final construction costs. Staff recommends approval of this proposal for this work. And if you have any questions, be glad to answer.
Any questions for Bradley? Bradley, thank you. Okay. Council, again, it's yours for action.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further comments? All in favor, show of hands. Council, thank you. Again, unanimous. Move on to item B, consideration of a request to approve the revised American Rescue Plan Act proposed projects and allocation amounts. Chuck Dinkins, our finance director, to present.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we discussed Tuesday, this is an item to reallocate existing ARPA funds. I've included in the packet a schedule showing which projects are being increased and decreased. But basically, this is reallocating existing funds in order to accommodate the purchase of the land and facilities for the new fire station. I'll be happy to take any questions you may have.
Council, any questions for Chuck? Chuck, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Council, once again, yours for action.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we accept this proposal as presented.
A motion and a second. Any further comments? All in favor, show of hands. Council, thank you. Item 6, boards, commissions, authorities, and advisory committees, and we have many tonight. First, item A, consideration of an appointment to the Central Valdosta Development Authority and the Downtown Development Authority. The Central Valdosta Development Authority needs to fill the slot, the unexpired term of Rhett Holmes, who resigned on November of 2022. His term will expire on December 31st of 23. This appointment was advertised according to the boards, committees, and authorities advisory committee policy. The two names that are before us, the applicants for consideration in no order of preference, are Tiffany Bentley, self-employed at Downtown Social. Number 2, Joshua Hunt, City Marshal at the City of Valdosta. Jordan Klaus, Director of Operations at Miller Hardware. And Alyssa Noyes, Attorney and Registered Nurse as well. I'll now entertain nominations from the council.
Mayor, I'd like to nominate Jordan Klaus.
I have a nomination. Any further nominations?
I would like to nominate Josh Hunt.
Second.
Okay. Any further nominations? We'll close out nominations. I'll now do the vote in reverse order.
No, you do order presented.
I'm sorry?
Order presented. Jordan Klaus first. He was nominated first.
All right. Said reverse. All right, we'll go with the first name nominated, Jordan Klaus. Council, all in favor? Show of hands. 3. It's not enough to carry. We'll now go with the second, Joshua Hunt. Joshua Hunt is approved by council. Now move on to item B, consideration of an appointment to the Greater Lowndes Planning Commission. Calvin Graham, Sr., whose term will expire on July 6, 2023. He has expressed an interest in being reappointed. The appointment was advertised again according to our policies. The applicants for consideration in no order of preference are Calvin Graham, Sr., retired military and Department of Defense, or James Miller, consultant. I'll now entertain nominations from council.
Mayor, I'd like to nominate James Miller.
Second.
Any further nominations? Council, if you don't mind, with one more nomination by acclamation, Mr. Miller is appointed. Move on to item C, consideration of appointments to the Valdosta Historic Preservation Commission. For the commission, we have 2 members, Tommy Crane and Harry Ham, whose terms expired on February 13, 2023. They both expressed an interest in being reappointed. Again, 2 appointments for 2 board positions. So without objection, I will by acclamation accept both names. Council, thank you. Item D, consideration of an appointment to the Valdosta Lowndes County Metropolitan Planning Organization Citizens Advisory Committee. The Citizens Advisory Committee has a vacant position due to the resignation of Vanessa Ross. This position serves at will. This appointment was advertised according to our policies again. The only applicant to apply was Ms. Deborah White. Without objection from the council, I will accept her nomination by acclamation. Thank you again, council. Item E, consideration of appointments, plural, to the Public Art Advisory Committee. It has 3 members, Robin Freddy, LVAC member at large, Cheryl Oliver, community at large, and Angela Krantz, community at large, whose terms will expire on June 1st, 2023. Cheryl Oliver has expressed an interest in being reappointed. Robin Freddy and Angela Krantz have not. These appointments were advertised according to our policies. The sole name for position 1, the LVAC member at large, is John Stephen Lair, retired professor emeritus at Valdosta State Fine Arts Department. Without objection, I will accept Mr. Lair by acclamation. Thank you, council. Position 2, community at large, has 2 candidates, Annette Crosby, artist, and Monica Meller, art and design department head, Valdosta State University. I will now accept nominations.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate the artist in residence, Annette Crosby.
Council, any other nominations? With just 1, Annette Crosby, again, without objection, I'll place her with the Art Commission by acclamation. Position 3, community at large, Cheryl Oliver, the lone candidate, and again, without objection, we'll place her by acclamation as well. Council, thank you. That was a lot. Item F, consideration of an appointment to the Valdosta Housing Authority. This is a resident appointment. Shonda Jenkins, whose term will expire July 1st, 2023, has expressed interest in serving again. It was again advertised according to our policies. This is a position that I have the honor to fill, and I'll make the appointment for Ms. Jenkins without objection. Council, thank you. Item G, consideration of appointment to the Valdosta Housing Board of Adjustments and Appeals. They had 3 vacant positions and 2 members, Carlton Richard and Cameron Brown, whose terms will expire on August 7, 2023. Neither Mr. Richard nor Ms. Brown have expressed an interest in being reappointed. Again, we advertised it according to our policies. The only applicant to apply was Ms. Deborah White. So without objection, I will place her by acclamation. Council, thank you. I'm going to be hoarse before this night's over. Consideration of an appointment to the Valdosta Lowndes County Airport Authority. The appointment was advertised according to our boards. Mr. Lee Turner, whose term will expire May 21st, 2023, has expressed an interest in being reappointed. As the lone applicant, I will again ask without objection, we will appoint Mr. Turner by acclamation. Council, thank you. Item I, consideration of an appointment to the Valdosta Lowndes County Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeals. Michael Miller, whose term will expire on June 30th, 2023, he has expressed an interest in being reappointed. Again, we advertise it according to our policies. He is the only applicant, so without objection, we will place him by acclamation as well. Item K, consideration of appointment to the Valdosta Lowndes County Zoning Board of Appeals and Adjustments. Did I go to the right page? Yes.
No, past that. Parks and Rec.
I got a whole page full, didn't I? Consideration of appointments to the Valdosta Lowndes County Parks and Rec Authority. They have 1 vacant slot and 1 member, Cisco Diaz, rotating member, whose term will expire June 30th, 2023. Mr. Diaz has not expressed an interest in being reappointed. Again, these appointments were advertised according to the boards, commissions, authorities, and advisory committee policy. So the applicants are as follows. Timothy McCoppin, Operations and IT Manager for Automotive Transfers, or Reginald Miller, Athletic Director at Valdosta City Schools. One of these slots must be the rotating member appointment, the other a full term. I will now take applications for either.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Reggie Mitchell for the permanent position.
And not for the rotating?
Not for the rotating.
Then I'll deal with that one first. Any other nominations for that position, the permanent position? Okay. By acclamation, Reginald Mitchell, the Athletic Director at Valdosta City Schools, will fill that position. We have another rotating position and one other applicant, Timothy McCoppin, Operations and IT Manager, and without objection, we'll place Timothy in that position by acclamation. Council, thank you very much. Hey, now I can go to K. Consideration of an appointment to the Valdosta Lowndes County Zoning Board of Adjustments and Appeals. Alan Strickland, his term expires May 7th, 2023. He has expressed an interest in being reappointed. Again, it was advertised according to our policies. The only applicant to apply for the position was Alan, so without objection, we'll place him by acclamation. That closes out this lengthy portion of the evening, and we'll move on to citizens to be heard. This is the portion of the meeting we ask you to come forward and state your name and address so we may have it for the record.
Oh, we voted for him on the other one.
Yeah, you must have. Yeah.
So have I. Thank you, Ms. Cody. All right, again, our policy requires that you stay under 3 minutes so that others have time to be heard. Please direct all comments to council as a whole and do not attempt to engage individual members of council in debate. It is our policy to follow through with you on your concern almost immediately. Additionally, we ask that any groups that want to address the council designate one spokesperson to represent the group and their comments. That will ensure that all have time to be heard. With that being said, are there any citizens to be heard at this time? Please step forward. Seeing none, we'll close out this portion of the evening and move on to item 8, our city manager's very first report.
Thanks, Mayor. Mayor, Council, first of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for having the confidence in my abilities to take this position. I really appreciate the entire process of the selection and your support in selecting me as the city manager. Next, I want to thank all of my department heads and my leadership team. During the past 3 months, you have done an amazing job keeping the city functioning while taking care of the needs of the citizens. My 2 clerks, Teresa and Brian, thanks for your patience as you have kept me on track with the many appointments, phone messages, and phone calls. To all of the city employees, I enjoy working with each and every one of you, the difference that you make, your dedication to serve the city and our great citizens. Catherine, thanks for your partnership, your friendships, as we have worked together solving many of the unknowns that we encounter daily. I know I would not be here without your support and your assistance. To my wife, Terry, my kids, Ricky and Matt, thanks for your support and understanding as I respond to the daily demands of this position. To all citizens of Valdosta, thanks for the much support. I look forward to serving this great community. Thank you.
That's it. You can stop there. Right. Okay.
I would like now to recognize Councilwoman Ms. Vivian Miller-Cody for completing her master's degree in adult career education on May 5th, 2023 from Valdosta State University.
thinks you hugged Richard Carvajal too long.
This weekend is a big weekend. There's many different things going on throughout the city. Downtown, build a bouquet for Mother's Day. Saturday, May the 13th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is an interactive day with merchants. Interactions will result in gorgeous floral arrangement for mothers. Make a minimum $30 purchase with one of the participating downtown merchants. Bring your receipt to the Main Street table on the Courthouse Square walk, then collect a flower from all of the participating merchants. Some of the other upcoming events, twice a year we have what is called the scrap tire recycling. Lowndes County does it in one period, and the city of Valdosta does it. This time Lowndes County will be holding it at their Public Works facility on from May 8th through the 19th, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. May the 12th, Friday, GPP graduation, multi-purpose room, City Hall Annex. This starts at 12:30. May the 12th, Friday, 5:30 p.m. is the National Historic Preservation Proclamation, 206 Wells Street at the Roberts House. Final, May the 13th, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Main Street, Makers Market, Historic Courthouse Square. Not the last item. Government 101 graduation, May the 15th at 5:30. Council chambers, 18 citizens that participated in this event will receive their certificates. That's all I have.
Did you get Maker's Market in there?
Yes.
Yes? Sorry, I was scribbling notes. And the most important day, of course, Sunday. Do not forget Mother's Day. Please, please. I'm going to take just a second to remember the loss of
Memory.
two fantastic men, Officer Griffin and my dear friend Dick Rocky. And their passing. City's less without them. I promise you. That's all I got. Council, any further comments?
I'd like to make an announcement. Tomorrow, May 12th, is Councilwoman Trudy's birthday.
Hey.
You all say happy birthday to her. She celebrates tomorrow.
45.
Thank you, everybody.
Council, any other comments?
Mr. Mayor, just as we continue on this week for me, to make it official, I am announcing my plans to run for re-election for the seat of District 5. And I thank you.
That's quite an announcement.
Y'all didn't stand up for me.
Council, without any other comments, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Council, very much.
All right.